Welcome to the Rewards Master Live. This is what I'm calling my live extra on Fridays. And really, what I'm trying to do here is that I have a typical upload schedule for videos where on Mondays and Saturdays, I upload credit card videos. On Wednesday, I upload something that's kind of, I guess we might say, credit card adjacent. It might be about budgeting or redemptions or, getting great flights or something like that. And then on Fridays, I like to do travel videos. But after we've not traveled for a little bit, sometimes I run out of either reviews of lounges or reviews of airline flights. So, what I thought I'd do in place of those on Fridays at times is I would simply, do another live because sometimes just don't have a lot of time on Sundays when I have my typical live scheduled. So that's what this plan is, and I hope it's enjoyable to those who are here to join us for the live. So let me see. Looks like we've got a couple folks coming in. DEM, always here. Good to have you. Great to see you again. Really dependable to be at almost all the lives. Appreciate it so much. And Points with Philip. Points with Philip. Philip and I have got some things coming up together that we're going to be doing some joint videos. I think we're going to be filming this week, so they'll probably be coming out in the very near future. Very excited about it. I'll be talking about Citi, and I think Philip's going to be kind of talking about American Express. So I think those are at least I'm excited about it. It's going to be really, really fun. DEM says, pretty frustrated. Citi, thank you point transfer process Sunday to Singapore and still hasn't arrived. Oh, that's not good. Today, Singapore increased all redemptions, so I'm having to pay 148,000 from 128.5. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. I haven't had. Now I'm not transferred to Singapore, so I got to say that. But I have not had any of my transfers from Citi go through any slower than with any of the other banks. So this week I transferred a boatload of points, but none from Citi. I did a bunch of American Express this week, and I can tell y'all why in a second, but it went through fairly, it probably took 15 minutes. And I've always found my Citi to be the same thing. So maybe Singapore is kind of one of those one-offs that don't go through very fast. I'm sorry to hear that, DEM. I know that's very frustrating. Vincent Pascal, who's often here, good to have you back, says, happy Halloween. Well, happy Halloween to you. We live out in the country, so we won't have any trick-or-treaters tonight. So we didn't really have to prepare. We did a little trunk or treat thing at our church the other day, so we got that out of our system. So, but some of y'all probably got the candy bowl ready at the door, which makes sense. DM says still don't have the miles on Chris Flair. Grr, yeah, that would irritate me for sure. MXMR was instant, which was strange. Yeah, I mean, you'd think the systems would work kind of similar. So to tell y'all why I made a American Express transfer is I have to go and do some work over in East Asia coming up in the very near future. So actually to Korea, Seoul, South Korea. And so I have to go and teach a university level class over there. And in doing so, I was gonna go over, I kind of get reimbursed, but it was like, it's just for economy. And so I thought, well, I'd upgrade my own. Well, the thing that I could upgrade was I could not find, it is really hard with specific dates. And this is what I always say. And this is what Nona and I, how we're able to get such great redemptions most of the time is we're flexible for our personal travel in when we go and where we go. But if I'm having to go to consult or to speak or to teach or whatever it is, I don't have that luxury. So I have to go for specific dates to a specific place. And that's when they're going to really stick you on redemptions. So I couldn't find anything good going over. Coming back, I couldn't find anything good. And the best thing I found coming back, and y'all know if you watch my channel, I'm not a big fan of Delta miles. I'm a big fan of Delta. I think it's a really good for the US carriers. I think it's a great product, probably the best, besides maybe JetBlue, but it's very good. But I'm not a big fan of their miles. So Sky Pesos just aren't worth much. But in this particular situation, I found it's premium economy, which I'll do, but it was 100,000 points on Delta which that sounds like a lot compared to business class flights to Europe. But what I was finding back to the US from Korea on the day I had to come, it was not bad at all. And so that was 100,000 points. But with the 15% discount for being a Delta card holder, it ended up being only 85,000 points all the way through to my home airport. And so that was interesting because it's from Seoul to Atlanta, then to my home airport. And then, well, one of the home airports I use. And then it was like, what? Okay, well, I'll just look to Atlanta and then I could maybe, find a way to get a little cheap flight back home from there. Well, it was actually like 125 to Atlanta versus 85 through Atlanta to my home airport. So that's a kind of a lesson to be learned. Sometimes you can fly through a hub back to a smaller airport and it's actually cheaper, sometimes far cheaper than doing that. So yeah, that's kind of how it works out. Let's see what we got going on here. Bruce Law 8574. Happy Halloween to all. Ghouls Night Out. Yeah, get your candy bowls ready. Gotta have the kids coming by. Juan Garcia. Good evening, Rewards Master and everyone. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you. DEM. Pretty cool. What subject, if you don't mind sharing? Well, I teach several different courses. One of the primary I do is history. That's what my PhD is in a field adjacent to history. So I do a lot of that. This one will have some to do with that, but not totally completely. But DEM, Delta redemptions have gotten much better, especially internationally. Yeah. I thought, I would have rather done business, but business was like 348,000 points. I'm like, I'm not doing Delta One for 348,000 points, but 85,000 points to get me home in premium. I thought that was pretty good. All right. So let's, I think that's catches us up on all the comments so far. Let me go over here and see how many. We got 17 who are watching, and looks like 7 have given us a thumbs up. So if you didn't notice, I have I think 1,897 subscribers before this live. It'd be really awesome to peak over 1,900 subscribers during this live session. So if you haven't liked, and especially if you haven't subscribed, if you do that, that would help me out a lot. My goal is to hit those 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So hopefully that'll happen. That's what my real hope is. All right. So like I said, about 20 watching, about 12 have hit the like button. So that's great. If you guys wouldn't mind doing that. If you do that, if you subscribe, if you like, if you comment, and if you give any kind of super chat, super stickers, anything like that, gift memberships, anything like that helps more people come in. And it's really, really helpful. Okay, we got James V5802. James, good to have you. He sends a wave. Happy Halloween to you. Hope it's going to be a fun night for you and everybody else. He's a channel member. Good to have you back. All right, so what I had today is something I like to do sometimes, which is just go through and it just kind of as I guess you might say, a potluck of topics. So I'm going to go through and I'd like to talk about different videos that I've had and different comments that kind of piqued my interest that I thought I would share and have discussion about. So these are the ones that I picked out for today. And as far as these go, I think they're kind of interesting. So recently I had a video entitled Citi's New American Airlines Advantage Globe Card, the best and the worst airline card. And the reason I did that video is because at first, when I heard about the Globe Card, I thought this thing is bad. It is a bad copy of the Delta Reserve Card. So that, I was like, that's not good. But then when I dug into it, because I'm an American Airlines status flyer, when I dug into it, particularly when you factor in that the credits aren't great, but you can get value from them, especially that splurge credit. And the in-flight, I would find some way to use that, right? But what really had some value is that $99 companion certificate. I'll get at least $250, $300 back on that because I'm for sure. I added up how many flights I've flown this year. I've flown 16 flights, round trips already this year. So I know I'll use that, no problem, because I have a bunch of paid flights, reimbursed flights, stuff like that. So when it comes to that, that would pretty much offset the value. But then what was really valuable to me, the 4 lounge passes mean nothing because, in fact, I don't know if you can gift those to other people, but the 4 lounge passes mean nothing to me because I have the executive card with full access. But what did mean something to me is that 15,000 potential loyalty points that you can get for each 4. And here's what everybody's saying. Everybody in the community, all the videos I'm watching are saying, except the frequent miler guys picked up on it. But besides them, I've probably seen 15 videos since that all are saying every 4 flights, every 4 flights. Well, that's true. And some of the language on the page says that. But when you dig into the terms and conditions, now, whether they honor this or not is up to American. But the terms and conditions say a flight is a segment. Now, what that means is if you fly out of Nashville, Tennessee, and you fly to LA, but it's through Chicago, that's 2 segments. And then if you fly back, same route, 2 more segments. That means they're going to give, if that proves to be true, if they honor their word on that, then that means you're going to get 5,000 loyalty points for 1 round trip ticket. If you have a layover, 1 round trip ticket. That means 3 round trip tickets in a year, and you're getting 15,000 extra loyalty points. That's just free loyalty points. And if you know how American system works, it's really good. So Mel Knight 4015 said, for me, 90,000 is easily 2 round trip tickets from Phoenix to London and a one-way for Phoenix to Cabo. So I'm guessing Mel Knight is out of Phoenix, which that's kind of assumed from this, but it says 90,000. Now that's the sign-up bonus on this card. I think that sign-up bonus is very good. I think a 90,000 point American Airlines sign-up bonus is really a strong bonus because, as you know, for me, I always value those at over 5 cents a piece. I mean, for domestic, they're a little bit less, but I often get 2.5 to 3.5 cents a piece. But for international, they're over 5 cents a piece. And so 90,000 points, and I think that's what Mel was trying to point out, is that's a lot of flying. That's 2 round trip tickets to Phoenix or London, and then one way from Phoenix to Cabo. Now, I thought the math was a little bit, 2 round trips. I will say it will, because I know this, it would buy more than 1 round trip ticket to Asia. Because like I said, I've been pricing those lately. And so I think it's a really, really strong bonus. So my new opinion is that Globe card, for somebody who's an American Airlines loyalist, the card actually makes more sense for somebody who has the executive card also than it does just kind of the mid-tier. It's always being presented, well, this is the mid-tier card for the mid-tier AA flyer. No, I think it actually is a more awesome card for somebody who's a diehard AA flyer, going into lounges all the time, flying through their hubs, but looking for status. So that's kind of been my opinion on that. Let me go back to some of I'd love to hear y'all's comments as well. Okay, DEM says, I've come to the conclusion that I now have 2 buckets for points accumulation: churn and burn with Amex, and accumulate garden with Citi. Yeah, that's kind of that's my basic strategy. I still have like a savings account, if you will, of Capital One points and also Chase points that I accumulate very slowly, not much at all. But I'm accumulating, I am churning, I am sign up bonuses, upgrade bonuses, all that with American Express. They are not hard to acquire. And then I'm using a lot of spend to get there. But with Citi, I am building those up through my natural spending, and it does build up pretty quick, but I value them very, very, very preciously. EM also says, considering Globe for easy status with AA, shifting domestic travel from Delta to AA, so this will help. Yeah, it will. Now, of course, what we're going to say is that Delta is a better experience most of the time. I'm just honest. I'm a loyal AA guy. Y'all know that. I'm a loyal Citi person. But, I mean, Delta is just a better experience overall. But, wow, the status is easier. Delta's pretty easy, too, if you have their credit cards. I got to give them that. United is really hard. I mean, United is not even in the same ballpark with the other two on status earning. But when it comes to AA, the easiest way to earn status with American's the easiest one of them all. All right. RC channel member, always here, says, hey, folks, good to have you, RC, on this Halloween night. Points with Philip. Honestly, I wish Citi would give me more cards. I have the Premier, but that's the only thank you point earner. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe when you have more, they're quicker to approve you, because Nona and I, we have 8 between us. And so it actually works out great because we can product change to the more custom caches and then change them back and all of that. It's hard. It's a hard setup for a lot of people to build out, right, Philip? It's a hard setup to build out. But once it's built out for the spender, now that's really important to note. And I'm sure you and I'll talk about this when we get to working on some stuff together. But for the spender, Citi is incredible if you have it built out. But for the person who's trying to just churn and burn, as DEM said before, just build up and get a lot of sign-up bonuses, that's not where Citi fits. Citi fits for the higher income, the higher spend, which is hilarious because American Express has kind of marketed themselves as the upper end. But really, for that high spender who's not just getting sign-up bonuses, who's getting points from spending and has a lot of spend, I'm thinking over 100 grand a year on their credit cards, Citi is just amazing for that. So yeah, I get it though. It's hard to build up. They're hard on approvals, especially if you've had a lot of hard pulls. It's for sure. DM, I applied for the Globe. I'll apply for the Globe in 90 days. Just picked up the Strata and Strata Elite, and Citi is sensitive to increase within 90 days. Yeah, that's us. We're going to get the Globe. I'm going to finish my spend to get my points for my American Express Business Platinum I upgraded to. And so probably around the first of the year, our next plan is I'm going to get the Globe, and then Nona's going to get a second Aspire card so we can have a 2-night weekend sometimes in the best hotels imaginable for, free night certs. So that's our plan on that. Happy Tom, good to have you with us. Happy Tom says, evening all, and thanks again for the content. You're most welcome. It's my joy and my pleasure. And thank you all for being the best community on the internet. It's just awesome. Happy Tom says 4. Okay. DEM says, definitely agree on Delta. Wife travels exclusively Delta for work, and his platinum medallion, we're covered there. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's just that the points you earn by those paid flights just aren't worth very much. I mean, but they, like I said, you can find the diamonds in the rough. Like I just found, like I said, on my flight back from Korea coming up. Okay, let's see. We got about 15 or so in here watching. Had about 15. That's pretty good. 15 likes. So that's great. That's great. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. That really helps out. Things like that help out a lot. Oh, looky there. This helps out a ton. DEM $4.99. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it so much. That's gonna really help. And I am deeply humbled by the support of everybody in this community. Law followed through with a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, Law. Appreciate that. Again, that I'm always humbled by how supportive this community is. Okay, next slide. This is on my video called Citi's New American Airlines Globe Card. So the same one we talked about. Solid Liquid Fox, who we've seen here in the lives before, said the plot twist here would be if they allow current silver aviators to keep that card. It would become the prestige of the Citi AA lineup. Yeah, the Citi actually not me, but Nona has the silver aviator card. They never gave me an upgrade offer, but they did her, and we took it for $199. That one's cool because it gives I think a $50. Is that right? A $50 Wi-Fi credit, which is good. That helps to offset it, and you can also earn companion passes on it. But the really cool thing about that one is not only can you earn, that one's a spend-based loyalty point earning. So if that were to happen, what I would want to have is the Aviator Silver and the Globe and the Executive card. And then all I'd have to do is spend about 40 grand on my Aviator card and I would be like all the way practically to platinum status, doing nothing else. I mean, that would be, and flying my 3 round trip flights. I mean, that would be crazy good. The Silver Aviator, like I said before, the funnest thing about it with me is every time I'm on an American flight, I'm like, bring me the food, because it gives $25 a day in free food, which means more because the card never works on their swipe machines. Every single time, this happened like 6 times. Every single time they say, I just keep the food. I'm sorry, because it's an active card. It's not my fault. And then on the next flight, I do the same thing and it never works. So you just get all the free food you want. It's really kind of cool in that way. But I mean, the terms are you get $25 a day, which is just one of the most quirky and cool features on any credit card that I know of, at least in my opinion. All right, we've got about 15 or so still watching. Still about 15 folks have hit the like button. Again, like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Points with Philip still here. Says, I've been getting a lot of targeted ads for investing with TD because I opened up a checking account. It would be cool if Citi had an investment account you could cash thank you points to. Yeah, that would be really good. I mean, I would move stuff to them if that were the case. But what I've been finding lately is that recently switched to a local bank here because they're offering 5% on a checking account up to $25,000. So that turned out to be pretty good. But if I could move investment things over there, that would be nice. I didn't know TD Waterhouse was offering that, but that's pretty good. Okay, not me again. Good to have you here. Not me again. Have you heard how Barclay Aviator Red going to move to Citi? You think that the credit line will remain the same when they transfer to Citi? I think the answer to that is nobody knows for sure. But what I'm going to guess, this is totally a guess, this could be completely wrong, but my guess is that the Aviator Silver cards are going to be product changed forcibly to the new Globe card. And that's partly why there's some hints there. That $100 in-flight credit sounds like it's trying to replace the $25 a day in flight for food and beverage. I think that's what they're going to do with that one. And it also has, again, the ability to have companion fares, which with spend you could do that. And it has the status boost, just like very different because it's about flight based, not about spend based, but still similar to the silver card. But the red card, I think they're just going to product change you immediately to their Citi Platinum American Airlines card. That's what I think is going to happen. And nobody knows exactly when that's going to happen. So, all right, let's go back up to our, all right, Gentleman Explorer, $4.99. Gentleman Explorer, a channel member, great supporter of the channel. Again, I'm humbled. Thank you very much. That helps out a lot. I appreciate the support. And it helps more people to see what we're doing here. So that means a lot. Points with Philip. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I think he's probably talking about the bank account. Yeah, it's funny because I did not even think to check because I have had big banks, the big banks in the past. And then I have a friend at church actually who is a local bank president. He said, you should maybe look at and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But then he told me about it and pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Maybe I'll do a video on that someday. Okay, DEM. I've been Citigold private client for nearly a decade. Has perks, Citigold destination centers and some cool events. Discount on CSE and Prestige. Yep. Yeah. I mean, what do you have to have? Probably 100 grand in assets, which, when you're talking about investment accounts, that's not hard for a lot of folks to do. And you get discounts on the Prestige or on the Strata Elite card. So that's pretty good. Cool events, some cool events. That's neat. I didn't really realize that. I guess I never paid close attention. No thank you point to brokerage though, right? You can't just transfer more, but I mean, you could, if you have the lower level cards, you could cash them out for 1 cent and you could put it in there. So I guess that would work out. Gentleman Explorer, handing out full-size candy bars to the kids makes me happy, like a great redemption as my big kids are out at parties. Yeah, full-size candy bars, man. Why were you when I was trick-or-treating all those years ago on the block? When I just get, I had a lot of the people who would give you fruit. That's what I remember. The fruit ladies, and they were sweet and all, but it's like I didn't want fruit. I wanted candy. Or there's always that house that wants to give out the healthy snacks, and that's just seems like it seems like a crime against Halloween when you're a kid. So DEM, bit more than 100K. Oh, okay. So, all right. I don't know where I heard 100K. I thought that's what it was, but all right. Okay, moving on to the next slide. This is on a video I did called How to Organize Your Credit Cards, the 4 categories every points collector needs. So what I did is I broke down our cards into 4 buckets, and I think this is helpful organization-wise. So the first bucket would be wallet cards. Those are the cards that you use for your spending, your daily spending when you're not trying for a sign-up bonus. And those are cards that have great multipliers, right? And hopefully are earning in a great ecosystem or a great point system like a great airline or whatever. So that would be the first bucket. The second bucket are desk cards. What I mean by that is those are cards that you use like for something specific every now and again. Like I might include, and I carry them with me when I went to the hotel, but I would include like my IHG card and Hyatt card and those that, you're using them for the free night cert, but they're not really spend cards, right? And then you've got backpack cards. That's like the American Express Platinum card, like my executive card to get into AA lounges. Those are cards you carry with you when you travel. And it would also include, in my definition, I guess somebody could make a 5th category for this, but foreign cards. So cards I'm going to use when I'm traveling overseas for no foreign transaction fees and to get good earnings. And then the last one is what I call junk drawer cards. So those are the cards that I'm just getting to get my bonus, right? I'm doing minimum spend to get the bonus, have no intention of keeping the card. I'm going to cancel it at 1 year or downgrade it. So those are kind of the 4 different categories or buckets. Well, Leonardo Ramirez said this. He said, I need help. I have 3 credit cards with points that I want to transfer to British Airways. Since they all share that partner, can anyone point me in the right direction on how to go about combining all those points together? And my quick answer for him was get one account, especially if the 3 credit card point system. So I don't know if he's meaning Capital One and maybe, I don't know, Capital One and Citi and Chase, whatever. And if you have one account and you transfer it in, it's going to pull them all together. It's kind of a elementary question, but we need to answer these for folks sometimes. We all need help to get farther along in this. So that is the easiest way to do it. But with those programs that use that metric system, what do they call it? Avios? Is that what it's called for British Airways? Well, also Iberia has that and Qatar has that. Those can transfer between themselves. So you could move it into Iberia and then move them over to British Airways or vice versa from British Airways. I haven't done that, but I've heard a lot of reports of people who've done that very, very successfully. Okay, let's see. Well, we got over 20 now watching who joined in. That's great. 19 likes. That's a pretty high percentage. That's awesome. That's awesome. So please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And then any super chats, things like that, those help a ton as well. So thank you so much in advance. All right, let's go back to our comments real quick. LOL, fruit ladies, James says. Yeah, I mean, did anybody else have the fruit ladies? I mean, the ones that gave you an apple because it was more healthy? I mean, anybody else have them? They're always the sweetest ladies, but with the worst snacks. I mean, I never wanted that. So, all right, RC comes in with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Always a great supporter. I think RC is the oldest channel member that I have. As far as I don't know how old you are, RC, but I mean, as far as who's been a channel member the longest, RC has been around for a long time. Thank you so much, and always a great supporter. I appreciate it. Points with Philip. I keep trying to find sweet spots for Avios for my kind of travel, and it's been rough. Anyone know anything I don't? No, I have some points parked over there because I'm that weird guy who doesn't mind to do speculative transfers when there's a great bonus, I do it because I have a lot of points. So it's like, do I want them sitting here or do I want to earn 20 or 30% more? Because I know I'll use it eventually. In other words, when I'm moving out my points, I'm not leaving myself too little. I still have plenty of transferable points. So why not get the bonus on it while I can? So I do a lot of that. So I have some kind of, some people would say stranded there. I just say waiting there. They're waiting there. But I have done one big redemption with them, and that was just that when we flew Iberia back from Madrid, Spain to the US. Great point redemption, 34,000 points. I think it was a couple $100 in taxes and fees, which is really good for British Airways. I mean, that's the problem is some of those programs, you can get great points prices, but the taxes and fees just can eat your lunch. And so, yeah, that's what I'm finding as well with that. So I'm just waiting for that unicorn to come up, and then we'll do it. DM, Avios is an Avios is an Avios is an Avios is an Avios. Exactly. Okay. Virgil, I don't know how to say that, so I'll just say Virgil. How's that? Virgil, good to have you here. 2 questions. I don't know what those 2 questions are, so ask them, and we'll try to get to them. All right, moving on to the next slide. Let's see what we got here. This is on the last extra live I did. I think it was last Friday. And I talked about an update on the Globe card, taking business class redemption, stuff like that. And Tim said, just upgraded from the Platinum to the Reserve card. It's talking about the Delta Platinum to the Delta Reserve card. And says, another thing I like on top of what you mentioned is the Delta Stays credit is annual versus anniversary date. I was in Central Mexico last year over New Year's in a non-tourist area, and therefore prices were good. Nice hotel was $90 a night, so therefore almost got 2 full nights in 2024. Yeah, I mean, that Delta Stays credit's pretty good. We used it this year in Dubai. So our Dubai hotel, I don't know if you've checked hotels off season in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, but they are dirt cheap. The Conrad is $137 a night sometimes. I mean, unbelievable. So we stayed in the Conrad the first couple nights. We stayed in the Millennium Hotel, I think, and right across from the Museum of the Future in Dubai on the main drag there. And I think it was maybe $140 a night. And I think I had a $200 Delta Stays credit. So it covered all but $80. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's nice because it's not like Edit or FHR in that it limits you to only high-end properties, right? You can use it for pretty much anything, everything down to a Holiday Inn or something if you wanted to. So yeah, I found that to be good. Okay. YouTube experiment will be driving, but happy birthday to me. All right. Happy birthday to you. Good to have you here, YouTube experiment, and happy birthday from all of us. I would sing, but it would make your birthday less good. So we won't do that. Okay. So Virgil says, do you wait a year to try to upgrade my Citi Platinum Select? Do I go to the Globe or right to the Executive? Well, I don't know. How much will you use the lounge access? I think is a big, important question. And how much do you fly? I mean, if you're doing 3 paid round trips every year, then the Globe's going to make a lot of sense. And if you're not going to fly enough to need full access to the lounges, then the Globe does give you four passes. So it might be a good first step. I love the executive card, but if you don't go to a lot of lounges, the Citi executive card, executive card, is hard to get your money back. I mean, it's not like the Platinum or the Reserve or even the Venture X or the Elite card, in that it's pretty easy to do the math and math it out to where you're getting positive annual fee. It's not even like it's competitive to the Delta Reserve. I mean, it's got a few credits on it. It's got the worst credit in history, which is the Lyft credit. That thing is so bad. I've never even used it because you got to take 40 Lyft rides in a month before you get $10. I mean, it's terrible. And then it's got $120 Grubhub, so it's a little effort, but you can get that. $120 Avis. So you're basically getting $240 back on $595. So in my estimation, you better really need that 20,000 extra points for your loyalty points at 50 and 90,000 points. And you better be using a lot of lounges, right? I mean, we go into 30, 40 AA lounges a year. So it really masks out for us. But I think for a lot of people, if you're only going into those lounges 2 or 3, 4 times a year, the Globe Card's probably better. I mean, for that person. But for the true AA warrior, I think both of them together are the powerful thing. So I think only you, Virgil, can know that about yourself. I mean, what's your travel look like? And that'll kind of help you dictate which one you think is probably better for your situation. So that's what I would guess, at least. Hope that answers your question. DM. Wordsmaster, what are your thoughts on the complimentary ticket year 2? The Delta Platinum seems better in regard, since you don't have to you can do Latin America as well. Yeah. My thoughts are the Delta Reserve is better. I mean, not Reserve. The Delta Platinum card has a better companion pass. I used my Delta companion pass this year already. The problem is that it seems like Delta kind of restricts which flights you can use that companion pass for. And I may be wrong. This is just my own kind of feeling about it, but it seems like the ones they let you take maybe seem a little more expensive. Maybe. Tell me if any of you have had that experience or not on those companion certificates. And the other thing is that I don't know. I'd have to look in terms and conditions, but on Delta, if you cancel that, you lose your companion certificate the way I understand it. So I'm very cautious about making sure I'm going to for sure, because I'm always canceling and rebooking and all that. Well, I can't do that with that companion certificate. So yes, it's better because it's more extensive. I mean, Hawaii, Central America, Caribbean, all that. And it doesn't cost the $99, but does Delta charge more? I don't know. And is AA going to be more extensive in the flights they let you use it on? Because I mean, for a round trip flight to Florida, we ended up spending like $560 each. So I did get the $560 from that, but I probably could have found a cheaper flight than $560 to Florida. I mean, you know, that's my point, is you got to kind of weigh the whole thing out. DM, but Turo is a joke. Yeah. You notice I didn't even mention that credit, that $240 Turo credit, because I'm not going to, I had one, I should have put it on here. It's a failure on my part, but one of the most hilarious comments I had was when I was talking about that card, and clearly a very young person said, dude, only old people use the traditional car rental companies. Turo has been killing it since COVID, and it's the new wave of the future. And I'm like, okay, maybe I got old guy syndrome here. I use National, and I use Avis, and I use Hertz, and I mean, but I'm just not gonna. I just and I know Turo, you could do like supercars and stuff like that sometimes, but I don't have any interest in that. If I want a nice car, I can get a Mercedes at National, or whatever, or convertible or whatever. So yeah, I'm not the Turo. I've had guys I know who've made several Turo bookings, and then the owner of the car canceled like right when they were supposed to get them, or just very soon before. Well, one thing about it, National's not going to do that. So I don't know, but yeah, I agree. I have no interest in that. That's why I didn't mention it. And DM says they're very restrictive. We used 4 this year so far. Okay, so you've used them, so you would know. And the guy who's used them is saying they're bad, so that's not good news. James says, how is the AA 30,000 companion ticket, 30K companion ticket? I know it costs $99. Do they restrict when you can use it? That's what I'm going to have to dive into. Don't know the answer, James, but from what I read originally, I didn't see that, but I didn't dive deep into that terms and conditions. So I apologize about that. Okay. Mark Sarton, good to have you, says no Turo and no Airbnb. Yeah, that's where I am too. Those are just not for me. Okay. Let me go back and see. We got over 20 in here now. See how many 24 likes already, so that's really great. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for everybody who's given super chat, super stickers. That really helps the algorithm. Also helps me to get more people watching. It's great. All right, next one. This is on my video called How to Maximize Your 5 American Express Credit Card Slots to the Best Value. And what I talked about is that American Express limits most customers to 5. I've heard of some people who can get 6 and some people can only get 4. And I've heard of people like Sledge who get a whole bunch of them. So I don't know, but typically, and for me, it's been 5. That's what I get. When I was talking in the video, I talked a lot about how to maximize strategically for your long-term cards, what you want to use there. And what Joel Phillips said is, I've been waiting for someone to make a video on this topic. Well, all right, Joel, I'm glad I was able to do that. I have the Hilton Surpass, Hilton Aspire, Delta Business Gold, Delta Business Platinum, and Delta Business Reserve. Getting the auto silver status has been super helpful, and the Hilton Diamond status can come through big time. The Delta Gold is the 5th card slot that gets canceled periodically for a new card. I'm considering upgrading my Surpass for a second Aspire. Given how many great credit card Amex has, I just can't justify getting the Blue Business Plus unless I could grab that elevated sub, especially considering, as you pointed out, that there are other catch-all cards giving 2x. Yeah. So for me, it's an easier decision on my 5 card slots because I have found, now I'm going to downgrade for now my Delta Reserve to a gold because I do want that 15% off. It did come in clutch on this flight I've told you all about that I have coming up. But for me, it's easier than if I were a Delta status flyer. For a Delta status flyer, I just think that the best thing in the world would be to have 4 cards, a business reserve, a business platinum, a regular reserve, and a regular platinum, because all of those cards are superstar cards as far as getting your value back. You would have 4 Delta Stays credits, and you'd have to be able to spend that much on hotels, but if your budget allows it, that's great. 4 Delta Stays credits, you get a bunch of Resi credits. If you got a way to use those, that's really good. You get a bunch of rideshare credits, but you're going to get your value back. And then you're going to get 4 companion passes. So you got to be a person who flies a lot of Delta and some paid flights too with a companion. But if you did, there is nothing in this game like that just holding 4 credit cards would get you to the mid-tier status on an airline. Now, we're all used to, well, I have the Hilton Aspire, I've got Diamond status, I've got the Bonvoy Brilliant, I've got Platinum status. You can do that with hotels, but you cannot do that with airlines except with Delta. So, wow, I mean, you're halfway to the top just by having 4 cards. So for people who are heavy Delta people, and I mean heavy Delta people, that to me would be the best strategy ever. So for me, the best strategy, because we love Hilton and we love the Aspire card, is going to be for me to grow my Aspire cards and to grow my Hilton cards in that. And so start off with sign-up bonuses and all that and try to build that up. However, that's going to limit some good cards like the Blue Business Plus. I love my Blue Business Plus. It is so simple and so powerful. But, you know, there's each one of those spots have their own value just in being a spot to be used by another great card. So I think the value prop is way different for heavy Delta flyers than it is for people like me who are heavy American flyers. And I do fly Delta some, and I do currently have platinum status, but I will lose that. I might still be silver, but I'm going to lose the platinum come the beginning of the year, end of January. But because I did a status match for it, but I'll still fly them some. But that's not my primary, so I don't have to use up my spots for that. But if I were all in on Delta, and if American ever changes everything and it's not valuable anymore, that's what I'll do. I'll use my slots to get heavy into Delta because, man, that's going to make status easy. Let me go back to comments. DEM answered James' question. Says they don't restrict when, they restrict the flight times on any given day. Okay, well, that kind of answers the question about that AA companion ticket. Virgil says, I figured all of your American Express slots would be Hilton Aspires. No, I'm working on it, but probably not. I suggest, I said it'd be good to have 10 of them, but then I rethought that when I figured the annual fees with everything else. I'm like, I could do it and I could get the value back, but man, that'd be a lot of work. So it's probably won't have that many, but going to have more. But yeah, I like them. DM says, have 7 Amex cards, including 2 Business Plus that I opened with 50,000 subs each. Yeah, that's the great offer on those. But what I'm intrigued by is you have 7. You're one of the chosen by American Express, because not many people can have 7. I mean, 5, 4, 6, but 7, that's kind of an anomaly from what I've seen. So, all right, let me go back and see. We got 25 or so watching, 25 likes. That's great. That's just fantastic. All right, let's move to the next slide. How to maximize your 5 American Express credit card slots for best value. So the same thing. This KD, and this will be a quick answer, asked the question, which maybe I didn't make clear in there, but this is kind of more of a beginner question. It's a good question. 5 cards at a time or 5 cards ever? Well, it's 5 at a time. I think all of us have canceled cards and gotten new ones and cycled through, who are deep in this game, cycled through 4, 5, more than 5 American Express cards. So yeah, I think that's just kind of the basic answer there. This one's on the best duo, the Citi Strata Elite duo that I talked about. That was a really high performing video for me. It had a lot of traction. And Thomas Staples said, I'm running with Citi Strata Premier for 3x gas and groceries and dining. I have an AA dining for effectively 8x earning. And it's paired with AA Business Advantage for booking high redemption hotels for LP. I only do $0 or $95 annual fee for personal cards. I really wish Citi had a non-co-brand business card. If they did, Chase would no longer be my primary ecosystem. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Well, first of all, if you only do $0 and $95 personal cards, that can do just about as well. I mean, with Citi, because you can get more than one. Citi Custom Cash takes effort, but Citi is like the sky's the limit on what you can get 5x on, pretty much. And you can do that with a $95 annual fee and have access to transfer partners. If you don't want the elevated lifestyle stuff, that is really a strong way to go. But then that comment at the end about Citi not having a business card. I cannot for the life of me figure out why Citi does not have a business card. That does not make sense. But if they did, I do believe that's true. They would be a strong contender, because I'm telling you, they'll have good multipliers, because Citi's just all about good multipliers for sure. All right, we got 27 in here now watching, and we've had 26 likes. That's absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and super stickers. Let me go back through and see if I missed any comments. Nope, I think we're all caught up. All right, let's move on to the next slide. This was on my Rewards Master Live that I did a few Sundays back, reworking the premium card tier list. And this is where I took my I think it was last Sunday, where I took my 2023 tier list of premium cards and I rearranged it. And that's because they've changed just dramatically since then. And there were a lot of differences. So YouTube video watcher said, no one gives any love to Bank of America Premium Rewards Elite credit card. I think people do, but you're never going to really find me. I don't know if anybody's noticed this about my channel, but I don't think I've talked about cashback cards, but maybe 3 or 4 times total. And I've never really done a feature on them, because I just don't have any interest in cashback cards. I mean, I just don't. And I know some people, that's their thing and they kill it with that. Good for you. That's great. I think it does work for some people. But the way my system works is that my credit cards are all about not getting back a return. If I want 5% back on my money, I can get that in investments. It's about getting an elevated lifestyle. So if we want to go on vacation, we could afford to do that. We have that in our budget, and we could afford to go basically where we want to go, when we want to go. But I can't afford to go or at least I won't spend the money to go in the fashion that I've come to really enjoy it. And what I mean by that is that we could fly in economy or maybe premium economy to Europe, and we could stay in a reasonably priced hotel. But what I won't do is spend $8,000 each on a round trip business class ticket for her and I, and $1,200 a night for a hotel. I just won't do it. But with this game, I can spend less than even I would have just normally, and use that money to elevate the dining experience and all the other stuff that we do. I mean, while we're there, the excursions and experiences, and we can get there in just incredible style. And so to me, it's all about elevating. So to me, the cash back cards would work better for somebody who's trying to just get value, and like Dugras, he uses a lot of them because he's looking to pay for everything. I'm not. I mean, if it's not a good point redemption, I'll just pay cash. I mean, that's just the way I look at it. And I think there are a lot of other people who do it my way, who, they're at that point in life and where they have the ability to pay for things, but they want to elevate that. So if anybody was ever wondering why I don't ever go into some of these cards, I mean, like when the hottest thing ever was the US Bank Altitude card, where everybody, the bar card, they call it, the US bar card. I mean, everybody was going on. I didn't do a video on that because I'm never going to use that thing. I mean, it's a cash back card. So that's not my thing. Or you can book through a portal and get maybe 1.5 back or 1.25 or whatever. 1.5 is not good for me. I mean, I don't want that. I want business class at 5 cents per point or 8 cents per point or whatever. That's what I'm looking for. So that's why I answered YouTube video watcher. I would if they had transfer partners. Just don't do cash back. So that's just where I'm at on it. Got 27 in here still watching. 26 likes. So hit the like and subscribe button. DM says, I can't rationalize having a credit card as part of my investment strategy. Cash back to Fidelity is silly in my opinion. Yeah, I don't use it for that either. I missed a couple up here. I'm sorry. Cesar, going to see you in 6 days or something like that. Looking forward to meeting everybody in person in Puerto Rico. Thank you for hosting. I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's going to be exciting. Mark Sartain. Mark says, good to have you, Mark. Blockbuster. I'm moving to a 3-card suite for 2026. B of A customized, B of A unlimited, and B of A premium elite. Well, yeah. I mean, if the cash back is what works for you, that sounds like a great plan because those B of A cards can be very, very good. Polygraph Zone. Good to have you, Polygraph. Right now, have 1 Hilton Surpass and Hilton Business. By the end of 26, I'll have 2 Hilton Aspire cards and keeping the Hilton Business for $60 a quarter. Yeah, I used to have that that Hilton Business card. I canceled it to clear up a spot, frankly, because when they got rid of the spend $15,000 get the free night cert. I mean, I'm not going to use it as a catch-all card for the 5X on everything because like I said, I'm just not the points aren't valuable enough for me for that. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. All right. Cesar says, can't wait. Should be a fun meetup. Yeah. And thank you for planning all the little things that we're going to do. It's going to be great. Excited about it for sure. Okay. We're at 53 minutes. We got time for a few more here. This is also on that same live that I did. Travel blogger Buzz says, of course, Built was bought off of United Wholesale Mortgage for $100 million. All right. This is what, hold on just a second. I'm going to flip on the light here. Feeling like it's getting a little dark. That should be better. Yeah, what I was commenting on in there is that Built, I am just so disappointed that Built has been promising me, and I know it's promising us, but it feels like promising me for a long time that mortgages are coming. I have a mortgage, do not rent. And so when it comes to this, I've been waiting for this for like a year. And now they come out and says it's going to work with one mortgage provider. United Wholesale, is that what it's called? United Wholesale Mortgage. Yeah. But then We find out United Wholesale Mortgage paid them $100 million, or, invested $100 million. And so what that looks like to me is United Wholesale Mortgage probably put a condition on that of, we want to be exclusive because they want to capture all those renters when they buy a house to, cross sell. And it just makes me it just irritates me to no end, because I'm not going to switch my 3 whatever percent mortgage to another mortgage lender to be able to get some points on my mortgage. That would be absurd. So, not going to do that. Never, never, never. So yeah, that's what that comment was about there. YouTube Experiment says, I'm not a fan of either Turo or Airbnb. I like a large corporation backing up in case of an issue. Yeah. I've done Airbnbs a few times through the years with family and stuff when they don't want to do hotels or whatever. But I don't like having to pay the cleaning fee. I don't like, that's just not for me. I agree. Vacasa is a good alternative to Airbnb. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't used them, but that's the one you can book through Wyndham, I believe. Isn't that right? Yeah. RC says, OMG, didn't know this about Bilt. That's so disappointing. Yeah, I know. It's like, I feel betrayed by it. And if the card wasn't a no annual fee card, probably cancel it for that reason, because I don't really have a use for it now. I used to use it on the first of the month to get the 6X, but now with City Nights on the Elite, I don't need that. So it's just where it's at on that. Everson, good to have you here. Yeah, Bilt killed it. What about the Mesa card? I'm going to investigate that, look into it. It's the $1,000 a month of spend that's holding me back. I know it's got good. I'm not criticizing that. I understand why they're having to do that to make their business model work. But the $1,000 a month of spend, I'm trying to think, where would I take that from? Would I take that from what I'm working on sign-up bonuses with, or would I take that from my spend that I'm getting great points? I've got to just basically decide, is the extra points on my mortgage, because my mortgage doesn't cost a lot. It's very low interest. So is the extra points on my mortgage going to be worth shifting $1,000 a month in spend to that card and away from my other cards, particularly my City cards that are my spend cards, to get the value that I get there? So that's what I've got to do an evaluation on. But that's a good observation about Mesa, because that is the alternative for regular folks who aren't with UWM. So yeah. RM, thoughts on Atmos Summit? Oh, the Atmos Summit card. I think the Atmos Summit card is really great for some people. And I as you know, DM, because you watch a lot of my stuff, I think the only points program better, or at least equal to AA, is the Atmos points. They're great. They are great. And I would love to have a way. That's why I like Bilt. I would love to have a way to earn those at a high rate. But the problem to me with the Summit card is that foreign 3% on foreign, or 3X on foreign spending sounds really great. And I think that is great. But I did the numbers on how much I spend when we're overseas, because we take 2 or 3 trips overseas every year. And how much I spend is not really that much spend. And I can get the 3X on other things. So it's not like all that much, or at least 2X. And then the thing about getting the the companion certificate for, what is it, 25K or 35K? It's one of those two. And then you get a bigger one at 100K when you get to a certain point of spend or whatever. That would be great until you run out of Atmos points, because it only is a benefit. It's not like a free companion cert that you can pay cash and then get the free ticket. The way I understand it, you got to buy the first one with points. So if you don't have a way to earn a lot of their points, then they're kind of sneaky forcing you to spend a lot of money on the card, even in categories where you're not earning a lot of rewards. So do I think it's a good card? Yeah, especially for an expat or something who didn't live in the States. Man, they would kill it with that card. But for me, I looked at it and I really wanted it, and I really wanted to like it, and I really wanted to get it because I want a good way to get Atmos points, because I've got a bunch of Atmos points that I transferred over through Hawaiian. But when those are gone, I just don't know how I'm going to earn them. That's the problem. And then ultimately, what if I had certificates? I don't have enough points to redeem them with. That'd be the problem. Tell me what you think about it. New again. What I miss. For your information, Vacasa is breaking up with Wyndham in December. Yeah, I think I'd heard that. So yeah, that'll be a bummer. I know. I think I saw Dugras had something out that said no or something because of that. Because I know he's a big fan of that. Everson 6724 says I'm in the same scenario with the $1,000 a month spend. Yikes! Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's like I could do the $1,000 a month, but I would have to shift it from something else. Just not sure if it's worth it because I don't have a mortgage payment of $5,000 or whatever like some people do. So I'm like, how many points am I actually going to get for shifting that spend? That's where I'm at. New again. Competition is good, but Wyndham is bad. Okay, yeah, I haven't used them very much. So, DM Rakuten with Built sounds interesting. Yeah. I'm kind of waiting to see how that's going to pan out because if that works out right, that might be a really sweet way to get extra points that can go over to Atmos. DM also says I'm considering the Summit. I'd consider the Summit if I was living abroad for an extended period for the 3X catch-all. Otherwise, meh. That's my point. Is it's got on paper this great, oh, you get these companion. Yeah, but yeah, how do you get the points? That's what it comes down to. New again, Rakuten with Built is interesting. Would entice me to get the Rakuten card. Yeah, and it might be in the future too. We're going to see how it all pans out. All right, we went the full hour, and I know Nona is waiting for me to go to dinner. So I better take her. I'll be in trouble. And by the way, speaking of Nona, if y'all wouldn't mind, she started a little channel. It's called Away Again Travels, and I put a link down in the description of this live. If you wouldn't mind going over there, give her a like and a subscribe. That really would mean a lot to her. I know she's trying to build. Anybody who's built a YouTube channel knows that the first while is very, very. It's a slog. So and so she says in all of her videos, don't you want to know how I'm spending Bop's points? So that is her mission. I earn the points and she likes to spend them. So if you wouldn't mind going over to that, I appreciate it. I also want to recognize all the folks who gave super chats, super stickers, support the channel today. The first one that came in last was RC, channel member, great supporter, $1.99. Appreciate that so much. Gentleman Explorer gave $4.99. That means a lot. Law, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you. And DEM, $4.99. So all of you who help support, I appreciate that very, very much. As I always say, greatest community on the internet is the Points and Miles community. Cesar gives me a thumbs up. Give you one back. I will see you in less than a week, my friend, and look forward to meeting you in person. It's going to be great. Y'all all have a great Halloween. Get your candy bowls ready and get ready for the youngins coming by. It's going to be a good night. Have a good one.